Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Debarati. I secured an All India rank of 4494 in NEET PG 2024 and I'm here to tell you exactly how you can do that too in the upcoming NEET PG 2025. I know time is running out, time is short, so without further delay, let's get right into it. Step number 1, mindset. Trust me when I say this, mindset is everything. You have to dream big, you have to believe you can get that rank, you have to believe you can rank 500, 1000, 2000 or whatever your dream rank is. Only if you believe you can do that, only then you can do that. Hear this again if you need to, but that is it. You will think I'll never get a rank under 500 because it's so tough, it's so effing tough, I can never do that. And I have seen many of my friends getting stuck on that thought, and trust me, some of them are really good, some of them have really done great in their professional exams, but I'll tell you, NEET PG is a different ball game altogether. Here confidence is the key, not overconfident, because that will ultimately kill your entire prep, but a certain amount of confidence is needed that yes, I can rank 1000, yes, I can rank 500, yes, I can rank within 100. Repeat it with me, you can do that. And you have to build your mindset around this point, because if you don't have this mindset, it's not going to happen. That's plain, that's clear. What I'm trying to say is you have to dream big. You cannot keep a target of ranking around 10,000 or 20,000. Maybe you'll get your dream branch in that rank, but if you get hung up on that target, if you get hung up on 10,000 rank, you'll rank 20,000. If you target 20,000, you'll rank 30,000. So keep this as your very first step, that your target is going to be within 1000. Let's now go to step number 2, that's assessing your competition. Very, very important. When I was preparing for NEET PG 2024, I assessed the rank versus marks of NEET PG 2023. I saw that around 573 marks got you a rank of around 5000, and you always have to add 20 marks to that for each successive year. Like my marks was 597 and I have ranked 4494, roughly 4.5k. So you can set a target that next year, if you want to be within 5000, you have to keep a target of around 620 or 625. We all know this year's NEET PG paper was really difficult. It was conceptual, it required in-depth knowledge, and still the cutoff marks increased by around 25 marks. So you can understand, question paper, easy or difficult, is not cutting down the competition. I hope that's very clear to you. So if you are targeting under 5000, you have to keep a target of getting somewhere around 620, 625. So now that we are set with our target, let's move forward to step number 3, and that is the sources you're going to choose. I'm not here to promote any particular platform like Cerebellum or Marrow or DAMS. Like whatever you are comfortable with, it's fine, because trust me, at the end of the day, all the coaching platforms teach the same thing, maybe in a different order, maybe in a different way. All teachers teach the same thing, just 1 or 2 points here and there, but that doesn't really matter when it comes to the ranks. So don't get into that FOMO that I'm doing Marrow, maybe I'm missing out on Cerebellum, or I'm doing Cerebellum, I'm missing out something in DAMS. Just don't go there. It's a very dark place. It's a never-ending cycle. It's a never-ending cycle of FOMO. Let's just call it that. It's FOMO. So don't go there. Like, trust me, it doesn't help. So whatever source you're comfortable with, I personally did Marrow. I did the main videos of Marrow, I did the main notes of Marrow. Only for one subject I didn't do the main notes. It was biochemistry, because biochemistry was never my cup of tea. I knew right up I couldn't do everything from biochemistry and expect to remember that. Ma'am taught us really well in the biochemistry main videos, but the revision videos are as good as that. And personally, what I realized was, even if I could remember whatever ma'am taught in the revision videos, that was like enough to score around 70-80% in the exam, and the remaining 1 or 2 questions that come from here and there, like say a random DNA question or a random fact, and I don't think anyone expects us to know that, and hardly any platforms give the exact information about that. So it comes into the category of the 20 out of 200 questions that no one expects us to know. So the revision notes of biochemistry are as good as the main notes as far as the exam is concerned. Like what I personally felt, I'm just telling you that. And rest of the subjects I did from the main notes, and including medicine. Yeah, I loved Rakesh Nair sir towards the end. Like when I was in my final year and I was doing medicine, I always felt so overwhelmed, like I could never complete this book. But once I was done with my internship, and I was literally taking a drop in my post intern phase to prepare for this. Like I prepared 1 year for this exam, and in that phase it took me 3 weeks to do the first read of medicine, and I really love sir right now. Like that is it. So now that we are done with the main sources of our preparation, let's go to the revision sources. Regarding revision, what I'll personally suggest is, if I was in your place, I would consider the exam to be on March 2025. It might get postponed to say May. Like if we take the example of year 2021 and 2022, like in year 2021 the exam happened around September, and in 2022 it happened in May. So yeah, but still, to be safe, I would suggest you take the exam to be in March and prepare a timetable accordingly. Like if I was in your place, I would set a target of finishing the main videos, that is the first read, if you haven't already done that yet, by December maximum. Like this is October, and so you have 3 months to finish your first read. If you think you can finish main notes by then, well and good, go for it. If you think you can't, you can go for the marrow revision notes, because they do cover a lot of ground that is needed for the exam. But personally I haven't done it from the revision notes, and I'm not sure about all the notes except like biochemistry, because just like I said, I did biochemistry entirely from my revision notes. But I have seniors telling me that the revision notes are good enough. So if you have basic knowledge about the subjects, like you were a good student in your MBBS years and you have good marks and you have read the textbooks, revision notes are just as fine. But if you are like me, because personally I didn't read that much in my MBBS, like what I'm trying to say is I never read keeping the entrance examination in mind. So for me the main notes were essential. So you have to decide for yourself whether you're going to go for the main notes or the revision notes. Only you can decide that. And you have to see, like if you're going for the revision notes, you're not missing out on any key concepts. Like if some concept you're having difficulty to understand, I would suggest you go to the main video, you see the concept, you clear it up, and then you get back to the revision video. Because this exam, like without any concepts, getting a rank was impossible. And let's say the next NEET paper is also like this year's, conceptual to the basics, and without basics you cannot clear it. The options are going to be really difficult to differentiate from. Like you can rule out 2 options, but the remaining 2 options get very, very confusing. And what I like to call is, they will try to blackmail you into like marking the wrong option, and they'll confuse you so that you forget whatever information you have. You will start to doubt everything. So unless and until you have a very concrete base, you are not going to survive this pattern of NEET exams if it like repeats itself. So get your basics cleared up. Clean basics, concrete basics is the key. Next up, we'll move ahead the revision. Revision is the key. Personally, I had to revise the main notes twice to even remember bits of it, and still there were parts even which I couldn't even remember after like having done the mistake for 1000 times. And trust me, that's completely fine. Everyone has to go through that phase. So basically you have to like continue doing mistakes till you can't do the mistake anymore. Like, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say, that practice MCQs, read and revise. Regarding revision strategy, like suppose you're completing the syllabus by December, you have to start the revision by January, and you have to do at least 2 revisions of whatever source you are doing from, and then after that only you can switch to BTR. What I want to say about BTR is you cannot start your preparation with BTR. BTR is the best revision program that is out there for NEET PG or Inicet or anything, and Zaina ma'am has literally spoon-fed everything, every content on there. Like, you can have exam and discussions, you do have compile modules, you have the BTR, you have the bonus BTR. So when I say BTR, it's not only the main videos, I'm talking about the entire BTR series, because only the complete thing makes sense. Because if you choose to see only the main videos and you skip the bonus BTRs and you're not doing it from any other source, like, that's a mistake. Like, the only question people have is BTR enough? Ma'am herself answered this question saying ma'am never claimed it was enough. It was just formulated by ma'am to give you an edge over the competition. Like, your base has to be clear to understand what ma'am is saying, to even make sense of the integrated way that ma'am teaches, and only after you have revised and you have a grip of the main subjects, you can make sense of BTR. So do not make the mistake of starting with BTR. It is the worst mistake you can make, and but you have to switch over to BTR towards the end. Not have to, like I did, what I personally did, because the revision program by ma'am is like enough, complete. Like, what pushed my rank to 4000, otherwise I would have ranked like around 10,000. I feel like it was BTR. It was the last 2-3 months of BTR. I did the entire course of BTR, and that itself gave me the final push. But you cannot compromise the main videos or the revision videos or your main source of preparation for BTR. BTR is for revision, period. Okay, so that brings us to step number 4, and step number 4 is the Q bank and the GTs. This has always been a gray area for the students. Like, all of us know how vast Marrow Q bank is. Like, it has around 18.5 thousand MCQs, and it's almost impossible to finish that with the first read if you have not been doing that since like 2nd year or 3rd year. It's very difficult to finish that in 1 year of the preparation. So personally, I could finish about 50% of the Q bank in my preparation year, and the amount of bookmarks that I put, I could never revisit them towards the end. Like, that is it. Like, what I would suggest is do whatever amount of the Q bank you can during the first read, but don't just postpone your schedule if you cannot finish the Q bank of a particular subject. Because what I would like suggest doing, because the time is really short, it is like 3 months, and you have to like do 19 subjects in this time. Like, going after Q bank is not something that I would really advise. So whatever Q bank you can do it along with the main subjects. And if you already know your weak area, say something like, say your respiratory system from medicine is weak, or say your rheumat is weak, like, do that from the Q bank. You don't have to do the things that you're confident about. Like, say you're confident about Fmge, most of it, but say you like personally feel you don't know much of toxicology, so you can just do the toxicology part from Fmge. So you have to be very selective about Q bank at this point, like what you're going to do and what you're not going to do. Another great way of practicing MCQs every day is the custom modules. Like, say you are studying CNS today, make a custom module of about 50 questions, try to solve them in 50 minutes, and like put like take a watch, like put a timer and that you are going to do it in 50 minutes only. Like you cannot take unlimited time to do the custom module because they don't have the timed thing, and you have to do it in the exam mode, like not select any filters at all. Like don't select any filters, because we all know the questions that came this year, they were not like exactly PYQs. PYTs, they definitely were PYTs, but they were not PYQs. So you cannot put filters like I'll only do NEET PG, I'll only do Inicet. It's not working that way. Inicet was always concept based, and NEET has also switched over to that. So you cannot put any filters and expect the board to give the questions that you like or you prepare. The board is going to give questions that they like. I would personally suggest practicing at least 50 MCQs if you are in your first read, and if you are in the revision phase, I used to do, like what I used to do was 100 MCQs every day, custom modules, all subjects, no filters. This is the trick that you have to understand. You cannot be selective about subjects when you are in your revision, because say you are doing the revision of FMT in 2 days, then you are going on to say orthopedics, but you are not revising FMT, like you'll definitely forget. Like at the end of the revision cycle, you'll feel like, okay, so what did I read in FMT? So why can't I remember this? And this happens. So what you have to do is every day you have to do 100 MCQs in the revision phase and 50 MCQs if you are in your first read. It's okay to forget like almost half of it at the end of the first read. That it happens to everyone. Don't be bothered if it's happening to you. It happened to me, it happened to rank 1, it happened to everyone, trust me. So practice is key. Like when you're practicing MCQs, your goal should not be to memorize the answer of the MCQs, because the same MCQs are not going to be repeated. They are going to distort it. They are going to reframe the options. They're going to reframe the question. So your target should be to understand the art of solving MCQs. Like how can you eliminate the remaining 3 options when you are like facing a question that you have no idea about, and that is the art you have to learn. Like personally, no one taught me the art better than Zaina ma'am in the exam and discussion videos in the BTR series. So I would highly recommend watching every one of them. Like you cannot miss out that, because what ma'am teaches is like, suppose you have no clue about a question, but if you're targeting a top rank like under 5,000, you cannot afford to leave more than 5 questions in the mini exam. You have to attempt the 195 questions. Like I would really ask you to be aggressive. I was aggressive. I attempted 198 questions and I got 159 corrects. So you can understand, you have to be aggressive if you're trying for a top rank, and you have to learn the art of solving MCQs. So get BTR, see the exam and discussion, try to understand what ma'am is saying. Do not memorize the answers, do not. And PYQs, obviously you can select any PYQ app. You can go for Reflex, or you can do Marrow. Personally I did from Marrow itself, because the questions are complete and the explanations are really detailed, and that's very helpful, because when you're solving an MCQ, you have to read the entire like description too. You have to read the explanation. You cannot skip that out. Like do not make the mistake of just memorizing the answer. Okay, like this MCQ, this is the answer, let's move on to the next one. No, it doesn't happen that way. You have to read the explanation, whether you're getting it correct, you're getting it wrong, because that question is never going to come again. But the concept you are learning from that question, that concept will be tested. Always keep this in mind when you're solving an MCQ, that it is the concept you're trying to learn. So if you are learning a new concept today, make a promise to yourself that if this question comes in the exam, you are not going to make a mistake. You cannot make a mistake if this question is coming. And like nothing hurts more than like these questions that you have solved, that you know that you have like made a mistake at previously, but still you're getting it wrong. Nothing hurts more than that. Like the questions that no one expects you to know, like you won't personally feel bad if you like get one of that wrong, but if you get say a question on leukemia wrong that you have answered before, that's going to hurt. So you have to make sure that whatever you're learning sticks to you. Whatever concept you're learning today, that sticks to you. Now let's move on to GTs. I cannot even begin to explain how important GTs are for your preparation. I used to take every GT, whether it was NEET pattern or Inicet pattern, and you have to do exactly the same. You have to take the GTs when they're live, not take a month-old GT now, because when it's live, you get an approximate rank. Not approximate, sorry, you get the accurate rank, but later on you get the predicted rank, and it's not the same. Like, you have to take the GTs when they're live. I used to take them on Mondays, because normally on Mondays at 2 p.m. they declare the results. So I used to make Monday my GT days. Like, in the morning I would take the GT from 9 to 12, and then I would like relax a bit, and then when the results were out, like, I would have lunch, and then I would like get on with the explanations, get on with the answers, the review. You have to review the GTs. You cannot skip out on reviewing the GT, or you cannot even do it superficially. Like, you have to understand why you got that question wrong, so that like you will never get that same question wrong again. And that should be the purpose of the GTs. Like, personally, what I had a GT copy where I used to like write down like the mistakes that I did, and I used to separate them into categories. Like, these are conceptual mistakes, these are silly mistakes. Next would come like things that I didn't know. And like, if a lot of questions are going into the didn't know part, you have to, only then you have to evaluate your source. Other than that, it's fine, because most of my mistakes used to be in the cannot recall, cannot remember section, and or in the silly mistake section, like reading something wrong, missing out like all of these are correct except, like missing out the correct part or missing out the except part. Like those are non-excusable. You cannot make those mistakes. So you have to categorize your mistakes. While you are reviewing a GT, I would suggest you not look at the ranks, but what matters more is the percentile that you are getting. Your target should be to score always and always above the 90th percentile, and if you're already there, your target should be above the 95th percentile. For those of you who are still struggling and have not reached the 90 percentile yet, take that as a target, and you always have to remain above that level. That's it about reviewing a GT. I'll be telling more about that later on. Now we come to the most important question, the most dreaded question, question number 5. How many hours to put in for your studies? There is no fixed number, there is no magic number that I can tell you, but I can tell you what I did. I used to study for 10 to 12 hours a day at least when I was in the first read and the first or second revision phase, but towards the end it increased to 12 to 14 hours, and that's just an estimate of the amount of hours you have to put in. Now, you may need lesser hours if you are well versed and you don't need that much reading or revisions, or you need more, or you might need more hours even if you are not that confident. So whatever gives you confidence, whatever number of hours gives you confidence, you have to target that. But the baseline should be, it should be at least 10 hours. It cannot be less than 10 hours. You cannot expect to crack NEET PG by studying less than 10 hours a day. You can't. I understand some of you are working, some of you have jobs, so on the days that you don't have the duties, you have to put in more hours to compensate for the hours you lost on the duty days. You have to compensate in some way. And when I say that it's a minimum of 10 hours, what I am meaning is 10 hours without social media. No social media in the 10 hours. After that, you scroll Instagram, you scroll Facebook, do whatever you want, but not in those hours. You cannot pick up your phone between that. I hope that's very, very clear. You cannot, because you scroll reels on Instagram, like एक बार फोन उठाओगे बस स्क्रॉल करते ही रह जाओगे, 1 घंटा बस स्क्रॉल ही करोगे, and then you'll realize कि okay, I've been scrolling this for 1 hour, so 1 hour has passed, and to get back into the zone of studying, it will take you another 30 minutes to get into that zone. So basically, by picking up the phone for 10 minutes, supposedly, you have now lost 1.5 hours. Talk maths, talk hours. You have to understand what you are losing, what you're putting at stake, what you want. It's your dreams on this side, it's social media on this side. You have to decide that for yourself, what matters to you. Now is not the time for social media. I personally uninstall my Instagram, Facebook, and like everything other than WhatsApp, because WhatsApp, obviously none of us can actually like uninstall, because all the updates and like everything comes on there. So yeah, other than WhatsApp and Telegram, yeah, Telegram, because I was in Zara ma'am's group, I was in Sakshi ma'am's group, so people used to ask important questions. And yeah, so that's one thing. So Telegram and WhatsApp. So other than that, I don't think any other social media is necessary for you at this point. Take this point very seriously. Don't waste your time. Like Zana ma'am says, you only have a limited space in your head, so choose what you are putting in over there. No garbage now. You can put in all the garbage after the exam once you are on the other side. Do whatever you want. So for the sake of the other side, you have to build the mindset, you have to put in the effort, you have to sacrifice. I read a beautiful quote once that literally changed the way I look at things, and it was, if you don't sacrifice for what you want, then what you want becomes the sacrifice. I hope you understand the meaning of this. You can listen to it once again, or like I did, I wrote it on a post-it and I stuck it to my table, so I could just look at it all day and not waste time, basically. Cracking NEET PG requires dedication, it requires a mindset, it requires you to sacrifice, it requires a lot, and most importantly, patience. Because towards the end, a lot of people tend to lose patience. A lot of people get anxious, especially the Telegram groups are responsible for this. Like I feel like spreading rumors that NEET PG is going to be postponed, like although this time the rumors were true. But I would suggest you not take all the rumors too hard, because there's no authenticity to them unless they are put in the NBMS website. So till then, don't be anxious, try to keep calm, and when you're getting overwhelmed, just take 2 deep breaths. Like take a deep breath in, count to 5, hold your breath till then, and then just let it out. It really helps to release the anxiety, and that's it. That's how you're going to crack. Proper mindset, proper sources, giving GTs, doing revisions, and making sacrifices, and prioritizing what needs to be prioritized right now. Right now, your goal, your main priority is NEET PG, so act like that. एक बार एग्जाम हो गया, उसके बाद क्या कर रहे हो, क्या नहीं कर रहे हो, no one will ask, no one will even like judge you based on that. So अभी जो है time, don't waste that. Every day, every minute, every hour is precious, and you have to utilize it in the correct way, or when the results come out, you yourself have to be answerable to yourself ki why you didn't make it, why it didn't happen. So you have to take a very conscious decision today that exam ke din you can say that to yourself कि whatever I could, I did. इससे ज़्यादा तो नहीं होता मुझसे. You have to be this confident in your effort, in your dedication, that results day is like this. You should have no regrets on result day. So that's pretty much it for this video. I hope it was helpful, and comment below what video you want me to like talk about next, like, and you can comment below if you want a particular topic discussed, or like iske baad what video you are looking for, say on GTs or Q banks, or how to solve an MCQ. I can show a live demonstration maybe of 1 or 2 questions. So whatever is it that is bothering you, you can write down in the comments, and I'll try my best to answer all the queries. That's it. Do subscribe to my channel, because I'd be creating more videos about cracking NEET PG, and hopefully they'll be more structured than this, because this is my first video ever on YouTube. So yeah, do like excuse me if I was a little bit disorganized. I'll definitely try to be better in the next video, and I'll be waiting for your answers in the comment section, or your questions like what videos you're looking for next. So that's it. Keep studying, work hard, dream big, have a little fun, not too much fun, because NEET PG is there. Uske baad to maza hi maza hai. That lie that we are being taught from class 12 that just came out. Oops. So yeah, that's it. Let's end the video. Bye. I'll see you in my next video. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye everyone.